You know what Sony had? The Holy Trinity. Leo, Brad, and Margot. Who do you have?
Hello everybody, welcome to episode 100 of Boy Party, live from the Dot Theatre in Dublin. Thank you all so much for coming out today and accommodating us in our fantasy that this is a real podcast with hundreds of listeners. We fill the room. My name is Lucy Daly, and I'm joined, as always, by the co-host of my podcast, Shane Kelly.
Good afternoon.
And we are here to celebrate our 100th episode. We began this podcast in January 2024, and within less than 2 years, we've gotten to 100 episodes. And I think that that's something very surprising, considering our lack of good scheduling in other ways.
Yeah, we've managed to do it every week for almost 2 years, which is the most I've ever done of anything. So,
yes. Plus dozens of bonus episodes in between. So we decided for our 100th episode to do something very special and have a live show in front of a live audience. We have a wonderful audience here of some people who have been on the show. Katie Brady, Luke Shanahan, Owen Dobie. Some people who'll be on the show soon are also here. And we're going to be discussing the most successful boy party movie in the history of the global box office. Yeah. And we'll reveal what that is in just a moment. But first, we have a very special guest. Ivan Yates is joining us today. We love having criminals on our show. So next up, we're going to show you some of our beautiful design. These are some of our wonderful boy posters that we do. People have expressed to us that they enjoy this element of the show every week. I Photoshop the poster of the movie we're discussing to have Shane and I on it.
This is a surprisingly seamless process. You just kind of bang these out in a couple of minutes.
This is the highlight of my day. 11 o'clock coffee break at work. Two of these guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I come back to the office and I work up a boy poster. The puns of the titles, sometimes you can do a pun, sometimes there isn't. Sometimes I just say boy party, but you got the boy wears party, the potty guard, but then, you know, the freakish ones like the burlesque with boy party the full way down.
Yeah,
I love that one.
There.
And you have no party for old boys. That one's fun. Any movie that has the word men in the title, you can swap that out for boys, right? So it's great. We don't have these posters available today, but we do have a special 100th episode poster for anyone who came along in the style of All the President's Men, All the Party's Boys. You guys will enjoy that. Anything else to say about the posters, Shane?
No, it's great for the engagement. People love them.
Yeah. Next slide. For the people listening back to the recording, there's going to be a bit of a visual element to this. So we're going to have to kind of explain.
Okay, so on the screen at the moment, we have four question marks.
4 question marks. How many question marks am I holding up? And we're about to reveal today's movie. So
if you haven't seen it, you kind of have.
Yeah, you kind of have.
You'll know what the story is. You kind of know the twist at the end.
Yeah, this is the most successful boy party ever, in my opinion. It's a very good example of what we talk about in the show. 2 major stars, very much a two-hander movie with 2 leading characters.
And very strange that they're both in their very early 20s. In this,
but we're massive A-listers.
We were massive A-listers at the time.
So will we have a drum roll and reveal the 100th movie on Boy Party is Titanic.
So who has actually sat down and watched Titanic start to finish?
Most people, right? All but 2 or 3.
And who, out of those who haven't, who knows what happens to the boat, the Titanic? Okay.
It was a huge success.
It was.
It's parked up in Dublin Harbour right now.
Yeah.
They
great Irish success story.
They molded the Statue of Liberty out of the wreckage of the Titanic in New York. We're talking Titanic today. It is the 4th highest grossing movie of all time. And it is a boy party with Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet as its stars. Jack and Rose, the doomed lovers of the notorious Titanic, a thing that was real, that happened, that was very bad.
Yeah. I think this film did a lot of good in making this feel like it's an American tragedy, but it's not. It's kind of an English thing and a part Irish thing, but I don't feel any shame or guilt for it at all. Yeah. So
the Americans should feel shame.
It's
a giant, ambitious infrastructural project that went south, and that's what America's all about.
A lot of people.
Yeah, that's what America's all about. The Titanic was the prototype for so many great American disasters and tragedies to come, and we'll talk about some of those in a minute. I'm not joking, but we are talking Titanic today. Next slide. This is the poster for the movie Titanic. It is, like many of the movies we discuss, perfectly suited to Photoshop Shane and I's faces onto.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet. We haven't taken this intimate photograph yet.
No, we've never taken a new photo for the purpose of doing one of these posters. It's always something from the archives.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to break that chain and try and like
there's a
recreate
number
this
of great,
photo,
yeah,
or we're just going
like
to layer them on top of each other.
if we go to a film screening or a premiere or whatever, and Brian McAvoy's there, it's a great opportunity to get a new high resolution photo of the two of us standing at different angles that I can then take our faces and slap them onto images. I have I can literally just search Shane's name, and thanks to the powers of artificial intelligence, I can search Shane's name in my Google Photos, and it just produces thousands of photos of Shane
At every conceivable angle.
at every angle.
Right,
and I spent all day sitting there looking at them. It's great. So the poster for Titanic is pretty good. Like, it has a giant boat on it.
Yeah, you might be confused and think the boat is the lead of this,
No.
which it kind of is, but
It kind of is. Well, the movie's named after the boat,
It
and
is.
the boat's the biggest thing on the poster. So there's a very strong case to be made that the boat is the star of the film Titanic.
yeah.
It's fun that the movie's called Titanic, a word that means big and huge in class, and the movie ended up being the biggest, hugest, classest movie ever made. Like, it does feel correct to be like, what is the pinnacle of American cinema? You go, Titanic. Like, it's just, it has a lot of gravitas in the title.
Yeah, so it's very fitting we're doing this for our 100th
Yes,
episode.
exactly. And the boat was big in class. I mean, look how cool it is. Look at that. The blue, the white, the little peaky bit at the top. I love boats. I love them. I don't get seasick. Do you get seasick?
I haven't been on a boat long enough. I've gone to the Aran Islands. That's kind of it.
Who's been on a boat in the last year? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, a lot of you. So we don't have a lot of boat phobes in the audience.
We do. I know one. I don't know if he...
We won't call
names.
Now, has anyone here been on a cruise? No, because none of us are in our 80s.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be old enough to go on a cruise. And you know what? If it goes down like the Titanic, at least there'll be a rose to my Jack. Like, I think that a cruise ship is a fun way to like torture yourself if you're someone who hates other people.
Who are you planning to meet on the boat and build a relationship with in one day?
You.
Oh, yeah.
Kate Winslet. I think the idea of a cruise as an old person as like a forced form of socialization is actually very appealing.
Just put all the old people on cruises.
And just send them down.
Just send them away.
Send them to oblivion. Yeah. But yeah, the boat's the star, but you have there two of our leads, Leo and Kate. And weirdly, I think he's kind of hard to identify from that picture because he's kind of looking down and you can see like his forehead, his beautiful hairline still intact today. And then Kate's very visible from the right side. But I think if you go, no, not the next slide. But yeah, it's an interesting one. They make another movie 12 years later with a very different poster. But yeah.
So whose name is first on this poster there?
So DiCaprio's name is first. I think he was marginally bigger star in 1997. So this movie was shot, I think, 2 years before it came out, and then it took a while to get out because of all the visual effects that needed to be done on, the giant sinking boat that's in it. But
a lot of it shot in Mexico, I think.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Where it shot up in Nova Scotia.
Yes.
Which is, I think, where it really was.
Where it was, yeah.
He had been in Romeo and Juliet the year before, which is a huge hit. So he was really, really buzzy at the time. But she was an Oscar nominee and had been in Sense and Sensibility and a number of other things. So they were both really trendy. I think the equivalent today would be Chalamet and Florence Pugh, probably, in terms of like they had an Oscar nomination each and were young and attractive stars. But go to the next slide because they re-released it twice with these posters, which is interesting, right? And the one there with the white background is the same image of their heads, but with hugging hands added in. And I actually really like it. I think it's nice, but there's no boat to be seen. The one on the left is from the 2012 3D re-release. This was at the peak of like 3D movies, or like classic films being re-released in 3D. So they did it with The Lion King and Toy Story, and then Avatar obviously was a James Cameron project. So then they were like, let's put out Titanic in 3D. And I was going to go see it, and then I had to go to a funeral. So that was a great day. But the other one I like. I think this is great. I love Negative Space. Look at that. Look at all the white. It's class. And that's from 2022. They did the 25th anniversary re-release. Does anyone have a preference of the three posters, the original or one of these two? I don't know. No strong feelings from anyone? What do you think?
I like the original. I like the
original?
boat.
Okay. Fair enough. The boat is good.
Boat is good.
Next slide.
We move on.
So these two made another movie together in 2008, and this is a really boring film called Revolutionary Road, directed by Sam Mendes, and it is who was married to Kate Winslet at the time, And it's based on a great book, but it's very, very dull, about a suburban couple in the 1960s living in a very depressing...
A lot of just kind of shouting at each other.
Yeah. A big, like, awards bait movie. And my theory about this poster is that Leo is very recognizable and that Kate Winslet, in fact, doesn't look anything like Kate Winslet. I don't know how many people would agree with me here, but I think she looks very much like the British television presenter Fern Cotton here. And I've thought this my entire life. And I can't unsee it. Anyway, keep going. So here's some other movies named after famous disasters.
Yeah.
We thought we'd discuss.
Yeah, it's a good genre of film, and we thought it'd be worth looking at the other.
If Titanic was like the biggest, because Titanic was the biggest movie of all time until Avatar came out. If you were able to get that many people into cinemas with the promise of a film about a giant disaster that everyone had heard of, surely you could repeat that magic, right? But none of these films came close. So last night we did a bit of a brainstorm. What other classic disasters are there that people would have named their movies after? So we have Pompeii, which is a film about Kit Harington trying to survive Pompeii. Then we have Chernobyl miniseries, which is fantastic.
Which I rewatched recently, and again is assigning English and American actors
to play Russian scientists, Ukrainians,
and we're kind of inserting American Leo here to play like. Yes. Well, he's playing American, but it's, again, turning it into an American story, really, for what's kind of a...
Yeah. But Chernobyl focuses on the guys who were responsible. It's about scientists and engineers and Barry Keoghan shooting dogs, which is what he'd be doing on his day off anyway. There's just no...
Jessie Buckley has like a love arc going through where her husband is getting absolutely dreadful radiation poisoning and is kind of melting into a bed. And it's really, really horrible.
It lacks a bit of Titanic's optimism and romance and sort of sense of poetic justice.
I really enjoyed the commitment of the Soviet people to the state to protect everyone else by giving their lives.
Oh, for sure. There's moments of great noble sacrifice in Chernobyl, but Titanic has those too, with the musicians, as we noted, famously parodied in the Simpsons movie in the Green Day scene. It's been a pleasure playing for you tonight. The Impossible is very similar to Titanic because it's about a married couple who gets torn apart during the tsunami of 2003, I guess. I don't think it's very good. 13 Lives is about Colin Farrell rescuing the little boys who got stuck down in the mines. Everyone remember that? Then there's this movie called 9/11 with Charlie Sheen, Whoopi Goldberg. I haven't seen it. It is the only mainstream movie ever called 9/11. But obviously there are more famous films about 9/11.
It's the Titanic of 9/11.
Yes. I believe that the entire movie is set in a lift that they are stuck in on 9/11. I would assume in one of the Twin Towers. It would be weird if it was somewhere else.
Yeah.
Deepwater Horizon is about how Mark Wahlberg is so handsome that he stops the BP oil spill.
Now, this is pretty structurally similar to Titanic.
Big boat, something goes wrong.
Yeah, and it also kind of has a hard pivot almost exactly halfway through where it's a lot of build-up, a lot of just people doing exposition, talking, and then something explodes and it becomes an action film, which is kind of what this is as well. It's a two-parter, really. It's nice.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Not a rom-com, but like a nice romance film at the beginning and then just...
Yeah, and kind of whimsical class difference, upstairs, downstairs. Like Titanic is a lot of like Downton Abbey-esque stuff of like Leo jumping between two worlds where he is sitting at the table having dinner with the wealthy people and Kate's family, and then he's down in the gutters of the boat with all the artists and the freaks.
Yeah,
and the weirdos.
A boat is a great format to kind of display a class story because the rich people are physically on the top floor, and then you just get poorer and poorer the more stairs you go down.
Yes. And when the iceberg hits, it's very clearly exhibited how it affects the poorest people first.
Yeah.
And like, the structures of capitalism, it hits the poor hardest. Captain Phillips, Tom Hanks is dealing with pirates. And then what's the last one on there? Apollo 13. Also Tom Hanks is about, disastrous space mission. But Shane, you hadn't actually seen Titanic in full before, am I right?
No, and I watched it for the first time in full over the last 2 weeks, and it is exactly what I thought it was, and I feel like I had seen every scene in it already, despite having never sat down to watch it. I was not surprised by a single bit in it, other than Kathy Bates is in it. Billy Zane is rocking around, having a fairly big part.
And of course, Enda Kenny himself. Yes. Victor Garber plays the only major Irish character, the guy who built the boat, who fucked up and is stupid. Of course, he's Irish. I'm so sorry that I killed you all. It's embarrassing. But as a guy who did a horrible job with infrastructure, killed loads of people, perfect fit for Enda Kenny. I think what I was surprised by rewatching it, because I haven't seen it in about 13, 14 years, was that it about exactly halfway through is when the iceberg hits.
Yeah.
And it is 3 hours and 12 minutes. So you're like, I have an hour and a half left of just watching people get plunged slowly into ice cold water.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a very nice watch. And it kind of isn't. I think that's when it starts to really drag. And you're like, I can only watch people scared for their lives for so long.
I disagree. I like watching the boat sink. I think it's fun.
The perversion I do not share.
I like large things, and I think big things going places they shouldn't is kind of funny.
Okay. I think it's weird that billions of people in 1997 went back time and time again, because the reason that many people cite that this movie was such a huge success is that young women were so in love with DiCaprio that they were going back to see it multiple times. And if you look at its box office, it was number one. It came out at Christmas and it was still number one in like April and May of the following year, right? Because young women and teenage girls were going back to see it as a just kind of be in the room with DiCaprio, and that the romance had swept them up. But like, this is a very, very depressing film about two young people who meet and fall in love and are together for about 2 days before they are faced with impending, unavoidable death. And then they have a kind of a fast track existential crisis about that. They realize that their relationship is doomed, and then, spoiler alert, Jack is plunged into the water and killed in the final few minutes of the film. And then you have this framing device of the old woman version of Kate Winslet telling her life story to Bill Paxton, who's an underwater explorer. And at the very end of the movie, as she herself is dying at the age of 102, she is like visited by the ghost of Jack. And it's like, a 102-year-old woman dying, and all she's thinking about is a guy she went out with for 2 days.
Now, this is a woman who has
in 1912
multiple kids and grandkids, which suggests
she has a family.
She has a husband and a family.
Multiple,
and still,
perhaps. And she's worried about the guy she met for 2 days in 1912. Like, yes, obviously you'd still be thinking, geez, it was crazy when that guy got drowned on the Titanic. But
your partner has never forgotten about their ex. That's kind of the message here of this film. So,
like, it's crazy. It's a crazy, depressing film. Like, it's like, Jesus.
But the public sentiment seems to be that, oh, Titanic, that's a lovely, nice story.
Yeah, what a lovely love story. What a great romance. And I'm like,
people have positive feelings towards
oh
it.
God, she's 102. Like, it's a bummer. A similar film structurally is The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which starts with Kate Blanchett in old age makeup lying in a hospital in New Orleans as Hurricane Katrina is about to hit.
Yeah.
And there's a nurse who's like, or her daughter is like, tell me about your life, mother. We're about to be killed. And Kate Blanchett is like, I knew a funny young man once. He aged backwards. And then the film begins. And then at the end of the film ends with the hospital being ripped and torn to bits.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, that was so sad. And Titanic's the same. But the difference is that one of these movies is the fourth most successful film of all time, and one of them is not. So anyway. What's next? James Cameron is obsessed with underwater exploration. He is the world's number one guy if you want to talk about Titanic shit, which is fair. He spent years of his life. He spent years of his life making this movie.
A lot of the opening of this film, which was probably the only part of it that I didn't realize was so substantial. Like, there's 25 minutes of Bill Paxton on a boat, submarines in kind of present day of the time. A lot of that is real footage of James Cameron down there. I think the trigger I saw online is that if you see two submarines in the shot, it's in a pool. If there's only one submarine or the ship in the shot, it's real footage. So, he likes water. He went on to make Avatar, which is a wet film.
Very wet.
He made
the second one's very wet.
His first film was called Piranha 2, which is wet.
He has a movie called The Abyss, which is underwater.
Yeah.
He did a documentary called like Beyond the Deep or something. He's completely obsessed with this stuff. In Terminator 2, the Terminators turn into liquid metal. This guy loves wet stuff.
He does.
He's a wet boy. But like when, of course, Mr. Man last year, 2 years ago, when was it that stupid idiot got imploded to bits in his submersible with his poor child, or that poor teenage guy who had to go along.
Could have been James Cameron.
It could have been, but James Cameron's not an idiot.
No,
he never did that because he's not dumb. So people rang him up, obviously journalists, the day after, and were like, James Cameron, as the world's number one Titanic guy, your thoughts. And he was like, they were stupid.
Yeah, and there's no movie to be made out of that because that was just like instant. At least this boat took like 2 hours to go down, so you can get a bit of a story into it.
Yeah. Now, if a movie makes as much money as Titanic did, you might be asking yourselves, surely they wanted to mine this IP a little bit further. Well, folks, there is a movie called Titanic 2. It's not made by James Cameron, nor does it star Leonardo DiCaprio, but it is not violating any copyright issues. It is not claiming to be number 2 in the Titanic series that began in 1987.
It is just about a boat, and the boat is named Titanic 2.
Yes.
So
They did it again.
It's not referencing the film, it's referencing the boat, which I guess you can do.
100 years later, lightning strikes twice. The implication there is that the Titanic was destroyed by lightning. Someone should tell them there's lightning on the poster. Looks like the new poster for Wuthering Heights. They should...
the iceberg strikes twice.
They should tell them that there was an iceberg.
Yeah.
Now, Facebook fake movie Slop World, of course, loves Titanic and wants a Titanic 2. So here are some examples of AI Titanic 2 posters. The Return of Jack.
Like there's probably great money to be made in these because if you go to any of these Titanic 2 fake trailers, they all have about 10 million views each on YouTube.
Oh, that's nice. They made Titanic 2. They brought Jack back. Career's not going so well for DiCaprio. He has to go back to Titanic 2.
Yeah.
We've got... what's next? This is James Cameron winning the Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, of course, wins loads of Oscars. Best Picture, Best Director. I'll tell you who didn't win. Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. This was the 4 acting winners that year. You got Kim Basinger, Robin Williams, Helen Hunt, and Jack Nicholson. Mm-hmm. Kate Winslet was nominated, and DiCaprio wasn't even nominated, and he was so pissed that he didn't even go. Mm. And the movie won every award that year, other than these actors, basically, and he was so pissed that he didn't show up. But
do you like their performances?
I think she's very good.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Like people claim the dialogue is kind of... There's a sense that the dialogue can be a bit clunky sometimes, and it's very on the nose, kind of and explicit. But I guess you kind of need that because once the boat starts going down, you don't need to be questioning motivations of characters and stuff. You're just like, oh yeah, I know what their deal is here. They explained it all to me earlier. So
yeah, it's the same thing as Avatar, where you're like the visuals and the scope and the spectacle makes up for some of the clunky writing. But they, of course, both have loads of Oscar success later on. So, in fact, at the point this was made, he'd been nominated 3 years previously. She'd been nominated a year previously. And they both go on to huge success. She wins her Oscar in 2009 for The Reader, and he wins in 2015 for The Revenant. At which point, I think everyone was sort of like, just come on and give him an Oscar. He was starting to get a little bit desperate, and he had to climb inside the bear to do that. Not my favorite role of his, but anyway, it's grand. Here we have both of their top 10 box office hits. This might be blocked by our large heads, but
yeah, like a lot of what we discuss on the show is what kind of defines a movie star and how you classify it. It's kind of ambiguous, really, but box office is a key draw. Like there's a lot of people that have 15 billion, 20 billion plus box office just because they're like the 19th person in a Marvel.
Yeah, if you look here,
film, but
she's in Avatar 2 and Titanic, but obviously Avatar 2, she plays like a blue person and she's not even one of the main characters, but she's very good at it. Every DiCaprio movie below like number 4 or 5 is kind of sold off of his fame and popularity, and I think he is pretty undeniable as one of the defining movie stars we have right now.
Of the century anyway.
Yeah, but she's done very well. I mean, there's some very successful movies on there that are dramas that are not super commercial that she's the star of, and she's had 3 big HBO shows and that have been probably among the most like highly respected TV that any film actor has done in the last 20 years, including Mayor of Easttown, which is great. So like when she does television, which he has never done, she does it to a very high standard. So those are their box office hits. Here's another graph. This is a graph of Leonardo DiCaprio's girlfriends.
Jesus Christ.
I had to throw this in here. Did you guys know about Blake Lively? I didn't know about that. This might be made up. This might be AI. I don't know. I don't think so. It looks like it's taken from the pages of the Daily Mail. So that's his age goes up in a direct line because that's how people age. The girlfriend's ages, they stay the same. In some cases, they go down. That is spooky, scary stuff. Now,
do you have the same chart for Kate Winslet?
I think she's all right. Maybe 2 successful marriages to middle-aged men.
That's pretty good, yeah.
And of course now her daughter, Mia Thrappleton, star of Wes Anderson's latest film, a very good actress, and nice to see that she's produced a new generation of talent. So Nick, now that's everything we have to say about Titanic, really. Right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's not my
pretty good.
favorite.
Like,
I don't like it as much as the Avatars.
yeah, it's like pretty immaculately structured, and it doesn't, like, for being 3 hours and 10 or 15 minutes long, it doesn't feel it.
No.
I guess it breaks it up pretty well. You got
Yeah.
20 minutes at the start, you got kind of the separate romance at the beginning, and then it turns into a disaster movie. So it's not a bad watch.
It makes the wide open ocean seem incredibly like life changing.
Yeah.
It's a good ad for cruise ships and a bad ad
In
for
a weird
icebergs.
way, it is. Like, it does kind of make the boat look appealing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can see why people are going back to see it
I think so.
50 times.
We're going to move on now to one of our trademark games, the Letterboxd Top 4 game. So this is a game we do on every episode where I ask Shane to guess. So basically, we find someone who has the movie in question, in this case Titanic, in their Letterboxd Top 4 favorite films, and I make Shane guess the other 3. And we've started recently doing it with celebrities' top 4s because obviously the staff of Letterboxd go to red carpets and they say, "Hello, Kate Winslet, what are your 4 favorite movies?" So today I'm gonna quiz Shane. What are Jack O'Connell's favorite movies? This is, of course, Jack O'Connell, star of Sinners, star of 28 Years Later, starred up, a very good British actor.
Titanic is one of the 4.
Titanic is one of the 4.
Are we accepting audience shouts here?
Yeah, if you want, but we do have another game for the audience in a minute. This is mostly aimed at you, because I want you to be
If
humiliated.
I'm struggling, you can pitch in.
So we have Jack O'Connell's 4 favorite films. Titanic is number 1.
Okay.
Now number 2 is a film, an Irish historical drama made by a great British filmmaker, starring one of our great Irish leading men.
Is it Daniel Day-Lewis?
No, younger. This is a great movie. It's about a difficult period in Irish history.
Cillian Murphy in there?
Cillian Murphy is the star of this film.
It's The Wind That Shakes the Barley?
This movie is The Wind That Shakes the Barley. So Jack O'Connell, he is an Irish Republican. We like him.
Yeah.
Jack O'Connell, who would have thought? Ken Loach is The Wind That Shakes the Barley.
2 though, Cillian Murphy, Jack Connell will be in the next 28 days?
28 years later, The Bone Temple.
Temple.
They're going to be in that together in January.
Fighting the Brits.
Liam Cunningham, I heard once tell a very good story about they were at the Cannes Film Festival and this was premiering and they were walking down the carpet in Cannes while like old Irish Republican songs were playing the entire time. And Liam Cunningham was like, what the fuck's going on here? All right, number 3, Jack O'Connell's 3rd favorite film. It is from 2024 and it was a big Oscar hit last year. It's an excellent film with a young actress in the lead role. And someone in this room dressed up as a character from it for our Oscar party last year.
Oh, God.
This is a great movie from last year. And the title is the name of the main character, just like Titanic.
I'm drawing a blank.
This is last year's Best Picture winning film.
Oh, and Nora.
This is Nora.
Okay.
Jack O'Connell, recency bias. You can't say, Nora can't be one of your 4 favorite films. That's ridiculous. All right. Finally, we have got... God, what is number 4? I can't actually see. My eyesight's terrible. Oh, yeah. This is like a classic historical epic along the lines of Titanic. It's from a couple years later. I get why someone would like this if they like Titanic. It doesn't have a romance as much, but it's like big, huge sets, epic, historical thing.
It's not like Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Oh, it is Gladiator.
It's Jack O'Connell's 4th favorite movie. There you go. What a weird top 4. What a strange guy.
Mix.
An interesting mix. Next up, we have a quiz for all of you guys. And whoever wins this is going to win a DVD
Oh, even better.
from our shelf. This is every movie we've discussed on Boy Party up until this week. And the only DVD on here that doesn't actually exist is The Morning Show, because that's a TV show and Apple doesn't do DVDs. So if you can pick any one you want and I'll buy it for you if you win this quiz. But if you pick The Morning Show, I will have to buy a DVD burning machine,
Yes.
rip the episodes, put them on
4
it,
seasons of it.
and then get a box and like design the cover and
Yeah.
do all of that. Oh, don't make me do that. Pick something else.
It's not good.
But it would be good value for money because you get 4 seasons of a TV show. So here's our game. It is something we do every week on the show, the box office game. But instead of doing the week that Titanic was released, it's the 10 highest grossing movies of all time. And I want to see if anyone can name everything that's on here that isn't Titanic. So we have 10 to reveal, and I will accept shout outs from the crowd. So who wants to guess number 1? No. No. The Godfather. Avengers Endgame's not number 1. No. Avatar is number 1.
First Avatar.
Number 2, we had an Avengers Endgame. Correct. Number 3, Avatar: The Way of Water. You said that already. Correct.
This is not that exciting of a list.
No, it's not. It's a lot of the same
I
shit.
think we established 7 or 8 of these came out in the last 10 years.
Yeah, we'll show you the one from 10 years ago in a minute.
We will.
Anyone want to guess number 5? No.
Do we have any hints?
Neja 2 is in here, but not yet.
Is that the Chinese film?
Any other guesses? Yeah, it is. Any other guesses? Maybe this isn't the best way to do this. All right.
Give a hint. Give a hint.
What is number 5? Sorry. Let me give a hint. I'm forgetting. Oh, number 5. Number 5 is an easy one. Came out in 2015. A big franchise came back for the first time in years. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Number 6. What is number 6? Oh, we've already had number 6. Avengers: Infinity War. Neja 2 is number 7. Does anyone except Luke know what Neja 2 is? This is a Chinese animated film. It came out
this year.
It came out this year. It was number 1 at the box office in Ireland for 2 weeks. So you can't pretend you didn't have a chance to see it. We all did. It was on in Cineworld. We could have gone.
It's probably screened about 4 times a day.
I have
in Cineworld.
no idea what it's about. There's a little girl in it and a lot of fantasy stuff. It could be amazing. It could be really good.
Is it for kids? I assume so.
Yeah, it's for kids.
Yeah, it's for kids.
The Chinese do not need American cinema anymore when they're putting out stuff this successful. At number 8, it's Spider-Man. Fine. At number 9, it's Inside Out 2. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Also from last year. It just completely passed me by that Inside Out 2 was that big of a hit.
It just kept going once it came out.
Yeah.
People just kept going to see it.
And at number 10, it's Jurassic World. Fine. Who do we think won that game, wins the DVD? Dobie. He got the most.
He did.
For comparison.
Though we do have a DVD player.
Great.
Yes.
Perfect. You can pick one later.
Nice.
He's going to pick The Journey. Next up, we have got, this is very quickly, look how different the top 10 movies of all time were 10 years ago. That is
Nope.
That didn't change.
One more.
There you go. That's what the list was like in January 2015. So there's so much recency stuff.
Sorry, we're kind of
recency bias. So the James Cameron duo rocking up the top. You've got your Marvel and you've got your whatever. But like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Frozen, Transformers, James Bond, and Batman are all there 10 years ago and are all gone now. There's been a real like generational turnover from pretty good stuff to absolute nonsense. But we're also cranky old bastards. So what do we know? This is what the kids are into.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's your Titanic box office. But it was, as you can see, it was number 1, and then James Cameron came out with a new movie about blue people, and it was bigger. And it's incredible. It's incredible that he pulled that off. It like is unheard of that
he has only made about 8 films.
8 or 9.
9 films.
That he came back after a 12-year hiatus and was like, I have this new thing. It's completely different. It's science fiction. It's original. It's not something you've ever heard of. And he managed to somehow like break his own records. Like, I don't know how he pulled it off. I have a lot of time for him though, for having done that. So that's the Titanic stuff out of the way.
Yeah, thank you for the crowd interaction. Makes this a lot
really
easier when that you didn't all sit there silently. So we appreciate that.
We have a few more things to do to sort of wrap up 100 episodes of Boy Party. We sat down last weekend and we said, let's come together and make a list of the top 10 greatest stars, male and female, that we have discussed on 100 episodes of the show. You can see behind us here, we have dozens of the faces we've talked about on this podcast. We've got all sorts of men, women who have starred in film and television over the last few decades. Every week we talk about 2 or 3 of them in batches. It's a great exercise in analyzing the direction that the movie star is going.
I think you compiled a list at one point of everyone we covered. How many? Probably 200 at least.
220, I'd say at this point.
Yeah,
like, maybe. So there's only 2 people we've ever talked about more than twice on this podcast. As of today, there's 3. Kate Winslet, Tom Cruise, and Margot Robbie. It's kind of random.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie just keeps being in boy parties we want to talk about. So we made a list, top 10 men and top 10 women, or should I say top 10 girls and top 10 boys.
The way we did this is we went into very separate spaces in the dark and we compiled our own lists individually of who we consider the top 10 movie stars of all time that we had covered.
Yes.
And we came together, we compiled the lists and kind of
did a point
weighted
system.
them each.
Yeah.
we did a
Now
point system.
we could have done a joint list of men and women, but like I did not want to like have a serious gender imbalance because I'm so woke. So I decided to have 2 lists so that there'd be 10 women as well. Don't judge us for any of the other lack of diversity on these lists, please.
Yeah, we'll get some. We'll see who you think should be on this list. That's not after, but
Yeah.
so again, should we kind of state the criteria of what we consider to be?
I didn't really have a strict criteria. I just said let's just go with like the greatest.
Yeah.
Not, who are
Great is vague. You gotta kind of account for, I suppose, quality, longevity, kind of iconography. I suppose.
Yeah. Who's really like the top of the Mount Rushmore? If we were doing if Donald Trump called us up, which he does sometimes, and he said, I'm not doing an impression of him, I want to change Mount Rushmore and get all those old racist fucks off of it and replace them with actors that you guys like.
Yeah.
We'd be like, well, Donald Trump, we want to replace them with these people. So that's the criteria of the list. Why won't the thing click? Top 10 girls. These faces are about to fly in so fast, you're not going to be able to catch them. So 10 down to 1. Number 10, we have got...
They're all coming in one at a time.
Marilyn Monroe, Kate Blanchett, Anne Hathaway, Kate Winslet, Julie Andrews, Katharine Hepburn, Frances McDormand, Meryl Streep, Audrey Hepburn, and Jane Fonda at number 1.
Woo!
Woo! What do you have to say for yourself?
They're class. Love
Yeah,
them
they're
all.
great.
They're great. Yeah,
They're great.
Jane Fonda was probably maybe number 3 on both of our lists.
Which got her to number 1 on the joint
Yeah,
list.
and on the joint list.
I think there's a
Good,
nice
there's
mix in here of like different types of personalities.
Yes,
So,
absolutely, and there's a good balance here of kind of old classical Hollywood actresses,
Living and Dead.
Living and Dead, more modern,
like
working actresses. So
in fairness to Kate Winslet, she's made it into the top 10, which I think is impressive. But there's a reason we've talked about her 3 times. She just fits very well into a lot of projects.
Yeah.
I mean,
and like these are all actresses capable of kind of leading films and marketing the films based entirely on their own name and image.
Yeah, and they add a huge value add to anything that
Yeah,
they're
and the
in.
likes of Marilyn Monroe in there maybe didn't have the longest career or the largest filmography, but again, the image has kind of lasted the test of time, and everyone knows who Marilyn Monroe is, and it's probably one of the most recognizable faces in the world. So it was kind of hard not to include her there.
What have we got? Six Americans, a Belgian, 2 English, and an Australian. Funny there aren't more Australians. Nicole Kidman was right outside the top 10.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like she should be on here.
I thought of that earlier today.
Anyone have any serious submissions here that you think we should have included? No? Everyone happy? Great. Great. You know not to argue. Top 10 boys. I'm going to let Shane call these out as they come up.
Okay.
All right. Well, we reveal the 10. Here we go.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Gene Kelly, Robert De Niro, Nicolas Cage, Denzel Washington, Robert Redford, Cary Grant, Tom Cruise, Jimmy Stewart, and Jack Lemmon at number 1.
There you go. I'm happy with that list.
I think so too. I think we both had the same top 4.
We did. We both had the same top 4 in different orders. I think our top 4 is very definitive, and you can tell from listening to the podcast that those are the 4 guys that we idolize the most. I think Robert Redford, maybe having just died, got a bit of a boost here.
And of course, our poster is inspired by the Robert Redford film All the President's Men. So he's on the brain.
He is. I think major omission from here, probably Paul Newman, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, a few people that we've done a few times who could have made it in. I wanted Alec Baldwin on here.
You had Kevin Kline on your list.
I had Kevin Kline in my top 10. I was being,
Yeah,
contrarian.
we weren't going crazy and putting like Adam Sandler on here, even though he's
he's exempt. Like,
yeah, he's exempt.
He's too big for a boy party. But yeah, I think those top 4 are great.
Yeah, like there's a great image of Jimmy Stewart, Katharine Hepburn, and Cary Grant from the Philadelphia Story which we were kind of aware of before we started this podcast, and we were like, oh, this is kind of the inspiration for the photo, really, or for the.
You see them there in the middle, right under the A and R in Party. The 2 of them kissing her on either cheek. We were like, that's a boy party.
Gotta
Look
talk
at that.
about this.
2 stars we love competing for the attention of an incredible female star. That's the energy that this podcast should have. It's a boy sandwich. Oh, we could have called the podcast Boy Sandwich.
We could have called it Boy Sandwich, but
if we ever get sued, we'll do that.
We will.
So there you go. Those are our top 10 girls and top 10 boys for our 100th episode. Next up, we have got a few statistics that I mined this morning about the 100 movies that we've discussed in this show. So Letterboxd gives you these for any list that you create. So here is a span of decades we've covered on the podcast. Unsurprisingly, heavily skewed towards the 2010s, the decades in which we were going to see movies and in which people that are still alive have worked the most are obviously a bit biased there. But in our defense, every decade has been done since the 1940s.
There's a real
the 80s.
Real gap in the 80s. Just like,
We've only done 3 episodes about movies from the 1980s.
they're all bad.
They're all bad. I have such contempt
They
for the
stopped
1980s.
making movies in the 80s for some reason. Just don't know what
And
was going on.
we're in a safe space to say this. People who grew up in the 1980s are fucking annoying. And they never stop talking about movies from the 1980s. I don't want to hear about Spielberg and fucking this shit. Like, and John Carpenter and all these fucking people. Anyway, it just...
Yeah, and there's obviously going to be a bias recently because
Yeah.
there are people we consider stars now that in 40 years you're just like not going to know.
But like the guys who were movie stars in the 1980s that did not work in the 70s, 90s, or 2000s, it's because they all either died of coke overdoses or they just weren't talented enough to last more than a few years in the limelight. And you know, the comedy stars of the 80s in particular I'm really not fond of. Now, like the definitive star of the 80s who is someone we've never talked about is Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
And he probably would have made that top 10 if we had done an episode on him. So we just haven't done him yet. We're saving him for a rainy day.
It's a pretty good identifier of a true movie star that you can kind of work through different generations and you can last over time. So
Exactly.
we'll see who the current stars are still on the go in 30 years. Will Austin Butler still be known?
I know.
Lord
It's
knows.
interesting to see.
Maybe not.
Now, next up, we have got...
wrong side.
Right click. Next up, we've got a breakdown of genre and theme. Thank you, Letterboxd. So, crude humor. Well, excuse me. I don't know if I agree with that. We have not done 24 movies with crude humor in them.
We probably have.
That seems very unfair to some of the films we've done. Well, anyway, drama, comedy, romance, whatever. This genre is not real. The themes I'm interested in: gags, jokes, and slapstick, moving relationship stories, laugh out loud relationship entanglements. Well, that's Boy Party.
Could we
summed up.
contact Letterboxd and get them to do a boy party
As
genre
a theme?
tag? Yeah.
Interesting.
We
Yeah.
might be able to pitch it to them.
Yeah, I'll send them an email.
Should, yeah. They might be responsive.
Letterboxd@gmail.com. Epic heroes, song and dance, superheroes. Ugh, fine. Okay. Whatever. Fair enough. Here is most popular movie, best movie, worst movie, all this shit according to Letterboxd. Very tough day to be my beloved The Journey, which, if anyone doesn't know, this is the movie about Martin McGuinness and Ian Paisley with Timothy Spall as Ian Paisley and Colm Meaney as Martin McGuinness. Good time for me to admit this is our lowest listened to episode ever.
Yeah. It's about the two of them being put in a car and having to work out their differences.
And Freddie Highmore from Chocolate Factory, he tricks them, he locks them in a car and forces them to become friends.
This is how the Good Friday Agreement came about.
Yeah. It's not very good.
No.
It is our absolutely least popular episode we've done and is the least widely seen film, according to Letterboxd, that we've ever done. The worst film we've ever done, according to this, Ballistic X versus Sever, I would argue nowhere near the worst film we've done. But anyway. And then the oldest film we've done is from what year? 1930s,
surely?
You're blocking it.
Oh,
Move.
excuse me.
39. And the longest film we've done is the original A Star is Born, which is like fucking so long. That's not even. That's
Almost
not even,
3 hours.
Titanic's longer than that.
Ah,
So Titanic
well done,
is the
guys.
longest movie we've done. And Carnage is the shortest. Another Kate Winslet film. So Kate Winslet is in our longest and shortest film that we've done. And that's a great note to conclude Boy Party episode 100.
That's range.
Thank you all so much for coming out today. It's wonderful.
Yeah, this was the first of its kind. This was a new thing for us with an audience. So we're
Delighted people showed up.
proud of ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
And we'll be back here in 100 episodes time for episode 200,
Yeah,
where we'll be
we will.
talking about Titanic 2. Worth wrapping up with the note that James Cameron has a new film coming out. We have been paid to say that Avatar: The Fire and Ash is released on December 21st. I can't remember. And there's blue people in it, and there's octopuses in the flying. and Kate Winslet's in it.
Yes.
And that's pretty sick. So everyone grab your free poster on the way out. You can follow the show, Boy Party Pod, on social media, boypartypod.com. Subscribe, like, review. Thank you to Shane. Thank you to Christina, our photographer and our transport captain today. Absolutely. Patrick Clark, audio engineer. And we'll be back very soon for episode 101. Thank you so much. Get home safe from the party, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.